Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 5th. Hey, it's time for us to talk about our favorite fishing on our favorite lakes with our favorite pro staffers. We're going to talk to our guys. We're going to talk Guntersville with Tom Mott. We're going to talk Logan Martin and Lay Lake with Josh Herron. We're going to talk with Gentry Gordy about Lake Martin and Jordan Lake. And then, of course, our favorite funny man, the best guide on Weiss Lake. We're going to talk to Lee Pitts. We'll be right back to hear what they have to say. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 5th, Coosa River Team Trail Championship time. We're going to talk to our Mercury Pro staffer, Josh Herron, who's going to be fishing that tournament, but I know he's been playing a little bit down there on Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Josh, you've been running that Bass Cat Mercury thing all over this river. What's going on at Logan Martin and Lay Lake?
Man, we're still holding at the same deal. Weather is pretty much stabilized. We got a little rain, but we didn't get enough to really affect anything. So these nighttime lows, man, that's what we're chasing. We need these nights to get down in the 40s and kind of stay there, kind of get these fish shifted in their little fall transition move. There's still a lot of fish out towards the river, and there's still a lot of fish in the mouths. But that's kind of the problem with this time of year is these fish get really spread out. So you can still do a lot of topwater stuff. Is one of the good things about the weather still being a little bit warmer. Spinnerbaits are starting to play a little bit better. Chatterbaits are starting to show up. These fish are kind of getting on a crankbait deal. I think a lot of times when you start getting into the mid to low 60s water temp wise, I think these fish know that those crawfish, they got about another month of them being in their diet, and then they're going to go away till March or so. So I think you get a kind of a little spurt or a window where these fish kind of really get on crawfish going into the fall before they go strictly shad. So you got like rock crawlers, little flat stuff like that, looking at these little kind of red mud places, especially on Logan with the water coming down, where you got crawfish that are walking really good, is another really good option right now.
So are you looking at combinations type stuff? If you're looking for red mud, are you looking for kind of around riprap? Are you looking for around the Coosa River grass? What do you want to look for?
Man, rock is kind of the deal. It's just, and you're not looking for like giant riprap or anything. You're just looking for more like chunk rock. That stuff is laying out there in 3 and 4 foot of water. It really shines.
Spinner baits, are you looking shad colors on that kind of stuff, and then mix in some crankbaits, maybe a few flipping baits with the crawdad patterns?
Yeah, I mean, like, stupid simple this time of year. White, double willows, water's still warm enough for them. When water gets like 61, 62, you go to like a willow Colorado style, kind of kill a little bit of the lift out of the bait. Whites, chartreuse white, shad patterns. It's pretty relatively stupid simple. Crankbait colors, anything that's kind of in that brown green range. These crawfish are going to have a lot of green and orange in them right now. And yeah, the flipping bites should come around too, especially in the afternoons.
Well, Josh, as always, man, we appreciate it. Have fun this weekend, just not more fun than me. I'm going to run that Mercury against you, so we'll talk to you this weekend.
See you, buddy.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 5th. Hey, we're joined by our Falcon Mercury Pro staffer, whose new boat has just arrived this week, Lee Pitts, who's going to talk about Neely Henry and Weiss Lake. We're going to touch on Weiss Lake a little bit, but we're going to really hammer Neely Henry because that's where the Coosa River Team Trail Championship is. Hey, 30 seconds. Give us the rundown on Weiss Lake real quick.
Weiss Lake's picking up right now. We're catching some fish both in the deep water, on the ledges still. And, the last few days I've swapped over and did a lot of dock shooting, catching some more numbers, but a lot of small fish. Bigger fish right on the ledges, smaller fish, catching a lot of numbers, shooting docks right now.
Bass bite still decent, getting into the shallows still there, or you having to go offshore?
Well, bass bite is hit or miss. Okay. Some days they're catching fish, catching some numbers, but the size still isn't there. I think you're just going to have to beat around, square bill still. The buzzbait bite is picking back up a little topwater action, so thank goodness that's getting right again. But just looking for the bigger fish.
All right, so we want to focus on Neely Henry a little bit. I've been out there breaking in my Mercury, haven't fished a whole bunch. What am I going to do this weekend?
I think once again it's going to be covering some water. I don't really think you can go and just sit down on something and make a day out of it. It's going to be hit and move. It's kind of like a boxer, hit and move. You got to hit and move. Spinnerbait bite's good. I think the topwater bite is going to be better on Neely this coming week. It's picking up. the weather's kind of stable for us. The fish are starting to move. Fish are starting to bite a little bit better. So in turn, I think that's going to get some of these bigger fish to try to get out there and fight for some food too. So, hey, in the fishing world, things are looking good. Neely's looking better right now. Got a jet about to blow me. So here we go. But
Sound of freedom.
it's things are looking up.
Yeah, they are looking up. Are the fish just now kind of starting to move into the pockets? Are the fish in the pockets? Are they in the backs? What do you think? Stay main channel? What do you think we want to look for?
I think a lot of these fish, you're looking at some of the backs pockets, getting around whatever brush cover you can find, whether it be docks, whether it be some stumps. They're starting to move on back in the creeks and getting back in the pockets some. And some of the bigger largemouth, that's where they're going to be. The bait's trying to get back there, and the big largemouth are going right back in there with them.
All right, well, we know we're getting ready to start working on your Falcon with your Mercury hanging on the back of that thing, so you can go break it in and have fun. We appreciate all your time and all the effort that you do, and you're a great guy, great guide, and we appreciate having you a part of the team.
Man, hey, thank y'all. I appreciate everything you do, and thanks Bucks Island too, man. It's a great staff, great people. Just glad to be a part of y'all.
Talk to you soon. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 5th. Hey, we're joined by Tom Ott, our Mercury Pro Staffer, Bucks Island Pro Staffer, who's a Guntersville whiz. Man, Tom, that Toyota Series Championship is going on this week. What are those guys finding out there on Guntersville?
Big old bass, Dano. I mean, right now, we keep talking Mother Nature's throwing us these curveballs. We've been seeing some nice, warm, calm, mild temperatures. These guys are going to rock it this week. I'm telling you. I've been seeing some big stringers that are coming out. As far as for me, an A-rig has been doing the trick, but I think these guys are really going to be knocking them out on these vibrating jigs. A rattle trap's really picking up right now. Your spinner baits, flipping is still, a way to get those big fish in the boat. But they're going to have to be firing up those Mercuries and running them up down the river if they're going to put that big sack together. That's for sure.
Is it the kind of thing where a guy can sit on a spot and put a few fish in the boat and then maybe move to another one, or is he just going to have to keep moving? Is he going to have to keep running to be able to put
absolutely. I think that those guys that have been out there practicing, they're going to be able to sit on one spot first thing. They're going to pick up a few fish, then they're going to have to move. But I also think that coming back to those areas later on in the day, when things start to pick up a little bit more, that topwater bite was kind of waning a little bit. But those, with the warm weather we've had, it's got the bait fish moving. It's got the bigger fish really in there getting hungry. I just think it's going to be a smackdown. I really do.
Yeah, I kind of expect. I've seen some of the pictures some of the guys are posting on their social media. Of course, they're not saying what they're catching them on. But if you could only do one thing, take the Alabama rig out, which I know you and St. Jennifer love to throw that thing. But if you could only do one thing on the river right now, what would it be?
I think I'd just put that heavy jig or a plastic in my hand, and I would go and hit what grass mats I can still find. Those things haven't broken up completely yet, and that's where those big fish are going to be hiding, especially if we get some sun, get some of that high sun later on in the morning. Into the afternoon, I think that's what is really going to do it for them.
Colors, talk colors real quick. What kind of colors would you?
Well, obviously on Guntersville, green pumpkin's going to be my first choice. But anything green pumpkin, June bug, some of your darker colors a little bit. We've got some good water clarity right now, but it's just that time of year, so. I definitely think anything from green pumpkin up into the June bug colors. Now, if I'm throwing that trap, I'm going to stick with something natural. Same thing with the vibrating jig. I'm going to stick with something a natural color, shad pattern, that kind of deal.
Well, Tom, as always, man, we appreciate it. Folks, that's our Mercury Pro Staffer, Tom Ott, joining us to talk about Guntersville. Tom, we'll talk to you again next week, brother.
All right, guys. Y'all be safe out there in tight lines. Can't wait to see these waves here.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 5th. Hey, we're going to connect with our pro staffer from the south end of this state, Gentry Gordy. Gentry, if I'm going to put my Falcon Mercury down there on Lake Martin, what do I want to do right?
You want to, early in the morning, look at your main lake points. Still, I know it sounds like a broken record, but the bait is still at the mouth. They're still at the points. I told you last week that the crankbait bite's picking up, and it is. I was back up there this weekend, and it caught several fish on a crankbait once the sun got up. Early in the morning, late in the afternoon, your top water even had some good good hits on a buzz bait. They're still there. The bait's there. It's starting to make its way back in the pockets. And the good thing about Martin is that water's steadily falling.
Well, that'll help push the fish kind of centralized into those kinds of things and kind of give them less to spread out in. Is it a move thing, just keep moving, or can you find them concentrated?
You can. My best luck has been the mouths of your bigger pockets. Right as you start to go in. That's been the best. But as the day, as it gets warmer, it tends to, your bite will go mid creeks or mid sloughs. But first thing in the morning, late in the afternoon, your main lake stuff and the mouths of your pockets are a lot better.
Okay, so after you've done the moving bait thing, you're going after them, top water, spinner baits, bladed jigs. Afternoon, what do you want to look for?
Afternoon, look for even just if you're just going down the bank and you see those docks up there, and they're all over Martin that's got the lights or they've got the rod holders out. There's something out in front of them.
Gotcha.
A shaky head or a Texas rig out there, find a trash pile. There's some good fish in those trash piles.
All right.
Don't have to be deep. It can be from 5 to 15 foot of water. All
right, let's turn our attention to Jordan Lake. I know you got mad at him last week. What have you found out for some retribution over there?
Well, I think you're still gonna be mad at them. They're still up under them bait balls. This warmer weather, I think, is just holding them there. You still got to push up. Eventually it's gonna happen. But first thing in the morning, your humps, like down there by the dam. Your shallower humps. First thing in the morning, like a little rattle trap, little 3/8 rattle trap, or an underspin, and even a top water plug when you can see them. Getting them to come up out of nowhere is tough, but if they come up schooling, of course, your top water plug, but a lot of decent little fish are being caught on rattle traps and stuff like that early and late in the afternoons. Midday is still tough. It just seems like your better bites they're suspended out over that deep water up under those bait balls.
Well, I know you've been growling at them like my Mercury when I fire that thing, but I appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, November the 5th. Thanks to the guys for everything that they have to say. We'll give a report real quick on Neely Henry with the Coosa River Team Trail next week. Of course, we might even touch on the Toyota Series Championship that's going on at Guntersville. But thanks to the guys for everything they do to help us put a few more fish in the boat. And don't forget, we're here to help you. We'll have Thanksgiving hours to announce next week. Talk to you soon.